ever from Esports, trying to find the angle they can, try to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. See White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
Beast Mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that Rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Santi getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster option. Now Saga Fort is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Linky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. They just defy 3K.
Rio shoving this Lana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3. Melophobia start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this. RG popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the 8? They get the 8.
And welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful day to start off and finish out some of our extra matches here for the playoffs of Season 16 of CGL, taking a dip into the stacked EU Open tier. I'm with Ray, and we're covering Aurafarmer versus MSU.
Yeah, and this is going to be a big time game. The best part about this game is nobody is going home. This is winners finals. So what's on the line? A ticket to the grand finals. And this is one of the divisions that has money on the line. So both teams are going to be at their best, fighting hard and trying to punch their ticket.
Yeah, that prize pool looking real good for all the members of the team right now, looking for that beautiful prize, and as well as the bragging rights, of course, for being the winners of Season 16. With that being said, this is not the only match we have today. If we look over at our schedule, we have a ton of games that we have fit in just for you guys today. Starting off, of course, with Aurafarmer versus MSU, and going down the line, 2 EU games, 4 NA games across all of the divisions. Starting off EU Open and ending it out strong with the NA Diamond tier all the way at 10 o'clock Eastern. So tune in for a full day's worth of CGO action, of things to look at, meta developments, of amazing plays from the lower level to the high level, and everything in between.
Yeah, it's going to be a long, action-packed day. A lot of winners finals, a lot of losers finals, a lot of teams that could be eliminated, lots of stuff on the line. So make sure to tune in throughout the day and earn your Overwatch drops, because you'll get that for watching us as well. So there you go.
Absolutely. And on that note, speaking of Overwatch, we're back here with the CGL. We have our first map of the day going over to Lijiang Tower, and it might be a constant thing we do see right in the rest of the schedules, the rest of the matches, is starting off on the beautiful map of Lijiang Tower. So flexible, so I feel like the most neutral of the maps we have available to all of our teams. So many teams have gone over to round 3s and really showcased their flexibility in compositions and play styles across from Night Market all the way into Control Center.
Definitely a favorite of a lot of teams. It's just been here since day one for all you Overwatch day oneers. I'm one of them. So it's just a familiar place, for a lot of teams who are long standing. Just a lot of scrim time and hours put into that map, so it's a lot of comfortability. So we'll be moving into the ban phase. Aurafarmer, being the higher seed, will be getting that first ban, and they picked the first map as well. So having that distinct advantage. I will say, I mean, casting a lot of EU, but it's like some of the smaller divisions where a lot of the teams definitely know each other, so they can be a lot more targeted with their bans. But this division had, I believe, like 18 teams in it or something like that, maybe 15. So there's a lot more teams. So it's a lot harder to like, oh, we've been playing this team a lot. We know exactly what they want to play. We know what to ban.
Yeah, the division itself was huge, and that's why the playoff bracket for them is 8 teams, 8 really well-established teams that have proven themselves not only in the regular season, but also in the mid-season playoff bracket that we had 4 or 5 weeks ago at this point. But we have now solidified our very first ban, and this is something that we've been seeing a lot more of, is that Mauga as a first ban for a lot of our teams here. They don't want to deal with their overrun, they don't want to deal with cardiac overdrive, and they don't want to deal with Mauga in general, and really, I cannot blame them.
Now the question is, how will MSU respond? Given that we're in EMEA, this is the kingdom of Symmetra, and this is a great Symmetra map. And we just saw 2 Saudi teams in the grand finals for OWCS playing Symmetra comps. So are we going to see that on this map? Are we going to look to see a ban from that? But I think if any region's going to be running it, especially after the weekend we've had in OWCS, it's going to be this region.
I think it was more like the week we had, right? They had 5 entire days of absolute jam-packed action, but it's not going to be Symmetra coming in as the favored ban here coming from MSU. It's actually going to be Tracer, another, I would say, pretty standard ban to be seen, especially when we're talking about control, talking about push, talking about flashpoint. People like to take out Tracer out of the mix and really just annihilate or eliminate that backline flank pressure that she is able to put on your backlines of the world, even your tanks.
Yeah, I will say also Tracer's also not in the best spot right now, but I understand, you know, even, you know, especially at this level, some of the best Tracers can play and just make it work anyway.
Yes.
So I understand it. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys some of the rosters for these teams before we get you guys into the action of this map, which will be pulling up here shortly.
Yeah, the lineups here are going to be absolutely insane. Both these teams have more than 6 players, so they have a ton of subs just in case anything happens. You can see here are our 10-player lineups here between Aurafarmer and MSU. On the Aurafarmer side, we have Khan, we have Swag Demon 10, we have Golden Pants, Killa, and Beaver fighting it off against MSU's roster of King Prawn, of Tref, Seamaster, Ice, and Yggdrasil. Very excited to see these guys duke it out again, as you mentioned, Ray, for a spot in Winterside Grand Finals.
It is what these teams are competing for. As we mentioned, money on the line for this division. So they are going to be fighting for their lives. We see both teams rolling out on very different compositions. MSU going with the standard Zarya brawl for a map like Control Center that we're on, while Aurafarmer's going for a weird composition, Wrecking Ball with Reaper Freya.
Yeah, very interesting, and I think it's just because Golden Pants loves to play that Wrecking Ball, but then you also have that more, I guess, style composition of Seamaster and Tref on that Zar and that Reaper. King Prawn finds Vintak a little bit out in the open here, very early on in the engagement, taking out Elusive, taking out that speed boost potential from Aurafarmer, and really, it's a matter of the fact that MSU already stationed on the objective so well, and Aurafarmer are super spread out away from each other.
I will say the thing for the Zarya with Seamaster is it's going to be tough. You're going to have to farm a lot of your charge off the Reaper because the Wrecking Ball and stuff like that's not going to be able to throw a whole lot at you. So it's going to be tough to maintain high charge as they will get the point capture. But we're trying to find picks, but they're just finding him going back and forth.
It's so back and forth. This fight mind you, it's still the first fight here. 20% is already given to MSU, a quarter of the point in favor of the red team here. Finally, there's a little bit of a break given to MSU, but now with Tref at the helm, actually going to be able to re-engage in the fight, especially against the Freya. As soon as it does get used, but Conde cannot get out of there in time. Killa gets another elimination on the board here. Great, but you still lost 2 big people, that being your Freya and your Reaper. You cannot fight this.
Yeah, you'll get your Reaper back relatively quickly as well. He has 2 cooldowns and get him back into the fight pretty quickly. And we got King Prawn with the mines coming out, gonna have overclock shortly.
That's gonna be really scary. But here's a continued rush from Killa, and Killa's not gonna be able to even see if it works or not. Gets taken down easily by that high charge Zarya of Seamaster. You see the reversal of the rush coming from Yggdrasil at the same time. But unfortunately for Aurafarmer, they're not gonna be able to really stay in the fight any longer than a couple of seconds, and they've lost going into Swag Demon right after the fact.
Yeah, great bubble placement from Seamaster, getting Ice, that ability to pressure the ball and be able to find the kill when they got low. We will have sound barriers coming in this next fight, but I mean, look at this. MSU's gonna have 4 ults. There's the grab.
The grab on the Wrecking Ball forces out the sound barrier from both of our Lucios. The overclock gets used from King Prawn, meaning that Vintak's sound barrier is now depleted. You don't have that extra overhealth to survive against the overclock. King Prawn is actually, mind you, in their own spawn, actually gets himself destruct to negate any extra ult charge from the team here, and even more so the beautiful push off the map here coming from Golden Pants, meaning Trev is not going to be able to use that Shadow Step in time to come back. But you know what, Ray? If you're the side of MSU, you're okay with allowing the fight to go away from you because you've already gotten overtime. You've already gotten 99% on the board here, and you almost got a C9, but Aurafarmer are on top of it, and they put the points.
You're still going to have some good ultimates coming online. You're going to have to deal with another Mines and a Death Blossom, but your Kitsune Rush and a Death Blossom, which used to be a deadly combo back when Kiri first came out, going to be online for yourself. So I think you have the tools as they're just going to push through with Zarya.
Oh my god, they pushed through with these Death Blossom as well, and everyone's health pool went really low. There was no immediate eliminations from the Blossom, but you know what? The follow-up is still there either way, Ray. And that's how you can get a nice 5k here in favor of Aurafarmer.
Yeah, that was a nice separation that Aurafarmer was able to provide. The Zarya was able to push through, but the rest of the team could not. So the Zarya just got blown up, and as you mentioned, the Death Blossom was enough pressure to keep the team from being able to push through.
Okay, Jeff going in for another plan of his. Cannot find as much value from themselves, but both rushes are intersecting with one another at the entryway. The Golden Pants is really in a world of their own, really using that mobility of the ball to just kind of ping pong everyone all over the place from MSU, not able to allow them to even walk out of their spawn room consistently.
I'm really surprised to see them continuing to run it down the same door every single time. I think at some point you got to split off, send someone to try and find something, as we do see them trying the alternate door now as well.
And I love it in close space. You can see how quickly Golden Pants backed out, and now they're actually pushing in. Very high charge Zarya is Seamaster right now, and if you can walk through this main way down the white room, maybe even better. But Khan, once again, with that beautiful rail shot, takes care of you so extremely early on. You're not going to have Suzy, you're not going to have Rush, you're not going to have anything really building up for MSU right now without that Kiriko, and you can see everyone's kind of in limbo, especially our Zarya, again, taken out by Golden Pants. Suddenly, the big lead that MSU had is starting to deplete very quickly.
I don't even know if they're going to have a touch at this point, as we're going to see the slam coming in, forcing out cooldowns. Golden Pants is just going absolutely insane on this Wrecking Ball.
There is a touch here in the favor of the Wraith form of the Reaper, but Treff again taking care of Aquila. Here comes the very, very aggressive sound barrier, and this might be what we needed, but the minefield all over the place means to make sure that Ice is not going to have a chance to even see the point or even see the fight whatsoever. And again, with Golden Pants really allowing themselves to work this space easily as the Wrecking Ball, this allows Aurafarmer to pretty much make a reverse sweep here, 0 to 100%.
The thing with the Wrecking Ball composition, once you have control and you can set up your rollouts and set up, your slams with your Reaper and, your Sojourner with the railgun shots, it's really tough to break through. So I think a big mistake for MSU was when they pushed basically to the spawn doors and didn't find all the kills. And they got punished for that. Point flips, and then Aurafarmer doesn't look back after that, because now they're in a very potent composition. Once they have control of that point, it can just crisscross, come from different angles, go for slams, go for railgun shots, go for Reaper, burst damage. It's very tough. As we do see Sims coming out immediately, but that's probably just a TP to get the teams ahead, as we'll get teams swapping over to, we're going to see Farah for Aurafarmer, Sojourn for MSU.
Yeah, and again, Jeff back, of course, on that Reaper once more off of the Symmetra, but you can see how quick Golden Pants is right on their tail, coming around the coastline, trying to get a sneaky push off, but couldn't really find one. Either way, there's a lot of boop effects here coming from Aurafarmer, the Pharah, the Lucio, the Ball. MSU need to be on their A's. They need to dot their I's and cross their T's, because guess what? You need to be super careful, make sure you don't get pushed off the objective. Here comes the engagement from Aurafarmer in the meantime, however. And it turns out in another big opener for Khan once more, really being the playmaker for Aurafarmer in a lot of these fights.
The thing with the comp for MSU, especially with the Zarya, is you have to find a target and get on top of it. Farah not going to be really accessible like that. Kiri you kind of can, but you have a Suzu and a TP you have to deal with. The Wrecking Ball, that's just never going to be an option. Lucio's 2 mobility, so it's like you have to go on top of Khan, but Khan is just continuing to find these entrance picks, and Swag Demon continuing that by getting the Lucio.
Yeah, it looks like MSU are starting to falter a tiny bit. This is not the same brawl we had seen in the first quarter of round
We're
one,
seeing the
right?
Diva coming out now.
Oh, nice. Wait, Seamaster is trying to go for something a lot more aggressive than the Zarya. I love this plan, and Golden Pants kind of in limbo a little bit in that spawn area, but again, no one's able to break through their spawn hold.
Yeah, I like the D.Va coming out. The D.Va can put a lot of pressure onto the Wrecking Ball and just has the ability to eat a lot of this damage from the amount of chaos coming in, as that is a lot of open targets in the open for that Pharah.
I know, and I'm so glad that they didn't get boofed off yet, but it doesn't matter when Khan's able to nail these rail shots easily against the support backline. Same thing with Killa, who, mind you, I feel like is always kind of getting active on the opposition, getting those headshots, getting that extra little bit of damage output on that Kiriko, and there's a reset, but we're already more than halfway to completion.
And it just feels like MSU has no answers to try and deal with the chaos that's ensuing with this Wrecking Ball Pharah.
Oh, Christ.
Mines are now going to come out, and they're going to get King Prod. Their Pharah Wrecking Barrage going to get another.
And finally, we get a kill onto Swag Demon, but at what cost? To both the Barrage had taken down both King Prawn and Yggdrasil in the meantime. Again, we're trying to fight our way out, but there's 3 ultimates here for Aurafarmer they can absolutely use in the spawn area. Do they even have a real touch here?
They probably do. 15 seconds still. They have a D.Va who has cooldowns to be able to get their Reaper. She can obviously TP and get there if needed. And they're going to have a lot of ults, so this is their chance.
Oh my god, the shutdown of the D.Va, though. You saw that? Unfortunately, Smash are not going to be able to get the respawn, not going to get able to get the remech. And you know what? There's no touch either. It's 100% to nothing against MSU. Aurafarmer take the 2-0 victory. They had a small scuffle in the first round, and they really brought out what makes this comp work on Night Market.
And we have to also keep in mind, Control Center is the worst of those 3 submaps for the Wrecking Ball. So the fact that once they got control of that point and made it work and won that point, that was the big deal. Like, if you were going to have an advantage on any of those submaps for the Zarya, it was going to be that map, and to lose that, to me, I felt a little apprehensive about their chances when the next 2 maps were going to be so Wrecking Ball favored. And Aurafarmer showed, you know, once we got going, there was no looking back.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Like, it really did feel like once you lost that initial hold of control center, which it happens, right? It's so difficult to break open that initial choke area where you're walking out from your spawn room, especially when you have a ball really scouting out your rotations every single waking moment he's around, and no one's really putting pressure onto the Wrecking Ball whatsoever. You know, you can only do so much on a Reaper who's trying to actually look at your backline, trying to have your Sojourn look at anybody besides the ball, because he's just there as a distraction. And what a distraction he really was. And just being able to utilize the map in and of itself to his advantage with pile drives, with just booping everyone off the map, things like that were so well done from Aurafarmer.
Only time will tell for the adjustments for MSU to try and find something to deal with this Wrecking Ball. Map choices, bans. Feels like there's a lot in their hands to be able to deal with it, but to me, those are only temporary fixes. Map only for 1 map. A ban only for 1 ban. And so it's going to be tough sledding. And there's not a lot of maps I can think of in my head. Like, if you're really good at Wrecking Ball, there's not a lot of maps where you go, I'm good at Wrecking Ball, but not this map. Like, there's just not a lot of Wrecking Ball players who are going to say that.
No, heavy on that part, actually, Ray, because it's true. No matter what map you go to, it can be King's Row for all I care. And you're like, oh, usually you'll go, like, you know, a nice brawl, maybe a little bit of poke. They don't care. They're going to go ball. They're going to go ball on every single map because they love playing ball. And ball is such a flexible character. If you have buildings, if you have anywhere to climb onto, play ball. You know exactly how to play ball on that map, and you know you're going to want to do so. So it comes down to not even just the map that you want to go to inhibit ball, right? But also comes down to, do you want to rip that band-aid and take out the ball entirely in the ban phase?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And again, you could only ban ball for 1 map, so you're gonna have to find an answer on how to deal with this anyway. But again, map will go shift into their actually MSU picked no Aurafarmer picked their map. Sorry, I was misremembering. Yeah, so it shifts in MSU's here. They get to pick the map. They'll get the first bet unless they like to pick sides for some reason. This is their chance to even out the series. I've said many times. Reverse sweeps just don't happen that much anymore in Overwatch. So being able to tie the series is going to be of the utmost importance.
And just as I said, Ray, we could go to King's Row, but if that person loves to play ball, I've seen ball in King's Row. This is not the once brawl safe haven it used to be. It has become so much more with different tanks, different compositions, different metas really evolving around King's Row and what it used to be a safe haven for, again, which again was your Zaryas, your Ramatras, your Reinhardts of the world, your Orissas as well. So with King's Row coming in as MSU's pick here, they, as you mentioned, can also have the first ban, or they can also pick sides and forego that first ban, right? So it comes down to, what do you want to inhibit? Do you also want to maybe look at that DPS line? Was that Soj doing a little bit too much? Were they taking out your Lucio and Kiriko a little bit too often, a little bit too consistently? Do you want to maybe take off the Soj as well here? Or there's so many other options as well if you want to go over to the support line as a ban first.
That is going to be the question of the day, is do they look to just rip that Wrecking Ball ban off the gut, or are they going to try and take a different approach? Maybe look to ban one of the DPS they felt like was a little troublesome. It felt like Cond on the Sojourn was kind of an issue, so maybe you look to go there.
That's what that's what I'm saying. I'm really thinking like maybe it's worth it to really maybe not take out the Achilles heel of the tank, but maybe look at your backline, the backline a little bit more, right? In the sense of that Sojourn, as you had just mentioned. But as the timer does tick down, we're gonna get our official response here enough and soon enough, right? And again, I think you and I are both leaning towards a DPS ban of some sort and saving that Wrecking Ball ban for a map that maybe Aurafarmer want to play on and taking that ball out of that map anyway. It's gonna be the Venture, excuse me, coming out here as the ban of choice from MSU, which is very interesting. We've seen it Venture a couple of times, but they're more popular on your controls or your flashpoints than you would say like a King's Row or any of your payload maps, even Push to an extent. But if Aurafarmer wants to keep that Venture ban, I think they're also retroactively making sure that they have a protection in place for maybe their own Sojourn or something like that.
Excuse me. So again, I don't think any of the supports in my head were like sticking out like crazy. Like, it's not like, oh, the Kiri for MSU was going insane, or my guess is they might go in the direction of a tank, or maybe they just feel in their scrims or something that there's been like a certain support who can really deter the comp they've been playing, so maybe they like to go that direction. But in my head, I'm thinking a tank might be more of the direction to go at this point.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. If you want to make sure that you don't get that same value, especially if you know they want to go Brawl and they love playing that Zar Reaper, why not? If you can't ban out Reaper, of course, since it's been quote-unquote protected, you can also just go straight for the Jugular. Take out that Zarya and... Oh, Ram's looking at my job. Oh my god! We have Zarya coming out as a ban here from Aurafarmer, and I think with the same, explanation I was about to do, I think that's why they want to do it. They want to make sure, okay, you want to make sure you protect yourself, quote unquote, with a Venture ban. Okay, take out Zarya. Where are you gonna get your charge from? You're forced to go to Orisa or Ram if you want to continue to play Brawl here.
So that's going to be the question for MSU. We did see them pull out the Diva to try and deal with the Wrecking Ball, but we've only seen Diva and Zarya out of them. What direction tank-wise do they like to go? Do they like to continue to play the Diva to try and put pressure on this Wrecking Ball? Or do they go with, maybe a little bit more sustain? Maybe Orisa could go, pretty well because you have the Fortify, you have your Javelin. If you can hit it on the Wrecking Ball, can disrupt a lot of what they're trying to do. I think even like Lucio is, going to be good in this Wrecking Ball, generally speaking, because if you can get a boop and disrupt like their trajectory, it can actually really mess up what a ball's trying to do.
Oh, I agree 100%. And I was kind of thinking about, with King's Row specifically, I was thinking about the possibility of banning out just characters that are really good on King's Row, like Lucio, Mei, for example, or Sim, are all really solid on King's Row, especially when you're trying to attack that first point and they're stationed with that Mei waiting for that wall. But with that being said, Zarya and Venture are our preferred bans of King's Row for today. Again, first to 3, so Aurafarmer, they look confident. They look very good, especially after that beautiful 100% to nothing of round 2 of Lijiang Tower. They are comfortable, right? They are looking real good. They have momentum. They have confidence walking into King's Row. Oh, you want to go King's Row? Well, we know we want to play here. And odds are they're going to play the exact same thing. They're going to go all the way around that high ground, and they're going to disrupt that formation of the defense. Again, if they are the ones attacking or defending first. We'll get our answers soon enough, and yes, they will be attacking first.
We do see we'll talk about the defense because we know generally it's probably what they're playing because you don't have a lot of time to go back and change it. I do like seeing the sim come out if there was going to be a wrecking ball, which we don't see that currently for Aurafarmer. Anything could change. The sim turrets could also do a lot of disrupting as well. So I like the idea that they're going with on this defense. And I think D.Va's also just a strong tank right now in general, and it allows you to zip around, especially this first point, and just control a lot of this medium high ground pretty well. For Aurafarmer, it does look like they are going to come out on that hazard, which again plays a very similar role to the D.Va, a little bit less mobility, but can be very potent in the damage and space they control.
Oh, for sure. And we're seeing that hazard come out. You can see the rotation rate happening. They're not even stopping them. MSU are actually backing up around. I lied! They're teleporting right in, Ray! But they lose one. They lose Yggdrasil in the fray. They trade off for Killa. But Seamaster is just back in the fight. We flipped around the positioning a little bit here, so Aurafarmer are kind of on the quote-unquote defense. We teleport right back to that area, thankfully, for Treff. But what a response. What a teleport from the side of MSU.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was distracted for a little bit coming into this map. I did not realize Swag Daddy was on tank, and that Golden Pants has gone over to support. So that is a very interesting change. But so far so good. I do think losing the Curie wasn't great, but they've been able to hold and pause long enough. But oh, they just lost 2, and that might be it.
They did lose 2, and they just got the D-Max onto Seamaster as well. And yeah, you're right. Swag Demon is on tank this time. Golden Pants chilling on that Yari and really showcasing that finesse with the character. And what a quick, no, like, bro, what a quick takeover this was. A little bit of a hiccup, but they did at the end of the day.
Yeah, and crazy enough, Swag Demon built up to that downpour, used it in that fight, and was able to secure it. So I've actually never seen a hazard build up to the ult that quickly. Like that was kind of insane.
Kind of nasty, actually. I'll say it. That was nasty. Already having downpour and using it in the.
Well, it's funny because I saw the animation on the ground, and I'm like, no, I must be seeing. There's no way he got downpour already.
Like, no, that can't be right. But the bullet shot does get eaten, though, by Seamaster. Despite that, though, numbers are starting to falter for MSU. They're losing people. Even Vintac getting 1 on the Valkyrie with the Barbie Blaster onto Yggdrasil. And there's also the Pulse Bomb to make sure that there's a DMAC here for Seamaster. We're pushing through for Aurafarmers.
Even with the adaptations they're making, it still so far has not been that close. We do see Treff going over to the Mei to try and slow things down with that primary fire. They will have the sound barrier to help sustain themselves, but they're going to be walking straight into a Captive Sun and another downpour, funny enough. It's already built up to another.
I don't know how. It's so quick, but the Mei comes out. The wall would have been more fruitful, but thankfully it has to kind of get out most of the time. Not this time, though. A beautiful follow-up to the Captain Sun be extended from Aurafarmer. Golden Pants takes care of Ice, and there goes King Prawn, and unfortunately, we're starting to lose a lot of people. A lot of back and forth. Another bullet shot. Mind you, the last one had just been eaten 30 seconds ago, Ray. There's another one that takes care of Trev. A Dio Bomb does come out, and Seamaster finds the kill, but of course, it's Freya, baby. She can kill while she's dead.
That's one of those, like, as a D.Va player, you know, you just feel good getting the kill on the baby D.Va. It sucks that you couldn't get the remake, but you're like, haha, screw you, Freya.
No, literally, right?
Anyway, Swag Demon gonna have the downpour. Khan gonna have the pulse bomb available. Still has the sound barrier for Ice. So they still have this ability to sustain for this next fight.
They sure do, but the way that Aurafarmer is playing, they're so hyper aggressive that MSU, I feel like, are mostly reactive. Look at this, they are going in, and the downpour still comes in, connected to Jericho, gets to go down. They go down first. His post from also being extended, coming in from Khan here. So Aurafarmer has already used 2 of their big ultimates already. King Khan getting another bullet shot online, but not gonna be able to rip it open after being shut down by Golden Pants on this Iyari. Once again, not playing tank, now on support and doing a fantastic job of flexing the roles here. He still takes care of the Mercy, but you yourself cannot do too much as Kiriko.
Again, Aurafarmers are just farming their aura right now. They're putting on a clinic. They have the bullet shot, so they're gonna have the Captain Sun. They have the Valkyrie. MSU is gonna have to get a lot out of this Blizzard, but there's just so much mobility from the side of the Aurafarmers players.
3.5 minutes is all that separates them from this part of the objective, and then the third point of King's Row. 2 big ultimates, 3 actually, in fact, of the Get the Stun, which we use first and foremost onto King Prawn. They gotta kill him first before he that bullet shot, but there it is, both of them straight off, and neither team going down quite yet, but the double pull from on the back line from Pond should be the finishing touch here for the side of Aurafarmer. But of course you have Seamaster and King Prawn trying to clean up the fray. It's a 1 HP Diva versus the Freya. It's a reverse, it's another 1v1 against the 2, and it does not go in favor of the Freya today.
You did it. I think all things considered, if you are the side of Aurafarmer and Kia, you were able to force out the remake from Seamaster. So literally no ults are online for MSU. Swag Demon is just around the corner from another downpour, and that could just be the finishing blow.
It sure can. Still 2.5 minutes, a lot of time to work with here for Aurafarmer to continue this push, continue this aggression. You can see how far Conde is actually going into the back line, distract them a little bit to allow this front line from Swag Demon to really start things off. We slide in with that downpour, and it finds Yggdrasil and King Prawn once again. Swag Demon would have frozen with that May perk, but you're able to get out, get that teammate, get Treff out of there. And ladies and gentlemen, this should be a clean cap here for Aurafarmer.
2-minute cap, which again, it's not like, wow, they made a huge statement, but I mean, all things considered, they were rolling. The cart did not stop that often. MSU did have some flashes there on the Diva. And again, I think what it's going to come down to is going up against these highly mobile compositions with MSU. You have to play your positioning super well. People just can't get isolated and caught out so easily. And I think we're just seeing that is the poke from Kia on that Freya, combined with just Swag Demon just getting in there on the hazard and just finding picks very quickly. They're playing their composition to a T at this point.
They really are. And again, if you're MSU, you gotta think about what can we do better this time. It's not like we are on the attack ourselves. Aurafarmer coming out on a slightly different composition, something we're kind of looking towards as an opener, actually. The ball is coming back out from Swag Demon. At least for now, we have Golden Pants still on the Yari. And the killer Widowmaker is making an appearance. Now, how much he's gonna get value out of the character, especially in the face of a Diva, of a Freya, of a Kiriko, we'll see. But I think these guys are looking, again, really good, really confident going into the defense phase.
Still plenty of opportunities. You're gonna see Swag Demon, who themselves are on the wrecking ball now. So let's see how they differ from Golden Pants. As we're gonna see Seamaster continue to stay on this Diva. I feel like, especially with Kia on the Widow, this is King Prawn's chance on the Freya to really set things up and find some early picks with the extra consistent damage you're gonna have with the Freya versus the Widow.
Yeah, I agree. You have to make the tempo yourself, but Seamaster kind of goes into a hole and gets demeched immediately. The Swag Team is already there for the re-engage, and as you predicted, yeah, King Prawn is gonna get the 1-up on the Killa, but unfortunately, there's gonna be no one else there to follow up on that kill on the Widowmaker, and Killa will be back more quicker rather than later.
We're gonna see Treff getting off the May, going over to the Tracer, hopefully being able to link up with Seamaster a little bit better and being able to try and find kills, because the May just felt very isolated, just like Yggdrasil just got isolated and got killed by Khan.
Yeah, oh my god, that's the great thing about Tracers. The amount of pressure you get on the backline is really, really good, and Treff is marking this ball, but then didn't really realize there's a Tracer following up from behind, and you're down 2 as MSU. You only have 2 minutes and 45 seconds left, so they have to go for a regroup, but they're stuck on the other end of King's Row right now. Oh, wait. Oh, we died. Oh, King Prawn killed Khan, and then Axane died themselves as well.
Suzu's going to come in. See if they can make it happen. They're gonna have the sites that they have to deal with from the side of Kia on there, just finding picks. That's the great opener that MSU's been waiting for, but it does get responded with Yggdrasil. But Golden Pants, the Alari, it's gonna be a while before they come back.
Well, the rush is going to be used on that objective now, and we can see Killer looking for this Freya before King Prawn can use that bubble shot. Very good target priority here from the Widowmaker, but you're also seeing CE Master really get a lot of pressure being put onto the Widowmaker in general. The bomb does get committed, but of course, you get the elimination onto Baby Diva before it can even be a chance at a remake here. And with that being said, only under 2 minutes now for MSU to get the other 2 ticks of the objective in their favor. And Aurafarmer are looking to stay in their spawn area for a little bit longer as well.
They're trying to put a little bit of pressure to buy time for their Widow to get back so they have a full 5. And they can always use the mines to, you know, build space and build time as well. So they have a lot they can do, but I like the pressure they're applying to be able to buy time.
I love how confident everyone is to, you know, take a 1v1 against King Prawn. And King Prawn, I feel like, has been looked at so many times that he hasn't had the chance to use his bullet shot whatsoever. You're going to see the minefield come through, and Killa, in the distraction of it all, takes a headshot right onto Yggdrasil. Konde gets a little bit too big for his britches, right? Gets a little bit too in there, and does get taken down by Seamaster very early on. So it's a very 1v1 trade-off we're taking here for Aurafarmer and MSU. Got the stun, finds 2, forces out that down barrier. And we're now disengaging as best as you possibly can, but Seamaster is on top of it like white on rice in that airspace, running dominant on that character. Killa, the next target of choice, and everyone is so low. This is to find the last little bit of elimination, and that doesn't even kill the Widowmaker. Who cares? All that matters is you have now the second tick on the board here, Ray. Need a third. Khan is set up for the touch, and there it is. Touch comes in against the rush, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here, Ray.
Yeah, I don't know, but Killa is going to find a pick onto King Prawn, so it's still possible, but Vintech getting sent back to the spawn room, a lot of heals off the table for the side of Aurafarmer.
It sure is, and you lose Vintech as well. I mean, that's a lack of healing from Aurafarmers, but Golden Pan is going to be the one getting active once more, taking care of Treff. In the meantime, Yggdrasil takes care of Drag Demons. There's no front line here from Aurafarmer. The bullet shot has finally been let loose, and it hit the target we've all been looking for of Killa. And with that being said, it has finally happened. They've capped the objective, and they have 2.5 minutes to push through the street phase of Kings Row.
And they get a late pick onto Vintax as well, so no Kiri is going to be an issue for Aurafarmer, so they're going to have to give up a lot of space, in my opinion. So to me, they're probably gonna have to forfeit a possible archway hold, but they are gonna have the mines. That's going to buy a little bit of time, but at some point you're gonna have to look to get out and wait for your Kiri. You can't take the fight yet.
Spider-Man's not even going to be able to take himself back to spawn. That's the unfortunate part, and that's the really cool thing about Freya is her ability to take care of low targets when they're way out of line of sight. That being said, MSU are now pushing almost halfway through the through first phase of Kings Row, and they're really running rampant in Aurafarmer space.
That they are, and Treff is going to find Khan, so it feels like MSU has definitely found their flow, found their rhythm. The question is it a little too late with still only a minute and a half left on the clock to get this second point? And they're going to have to finish with time on the clock because of the time bank Aurafarmer was able to get.
Yeah, good pickup on that as well. They need to have more time, more than a minute, in fact, to get something on the board here for rounds 3 and 4 if need be. But Side taking that first objective, taking that first pick on Yggdrasil is great. Now, unfortunately for Seamaster, he did have to be forced to utilize that bomb here in that small enclosed area. Couldn't get any pressure, any eliminations off of it, and had the seconds on life, but it's almost a bit too late. Kitsune Rush comes in from Vintac to solidify the rest of the fight, and there's a slight stagger on the CE Master. Why not?
With the amount of time it's going to take for you to get reset up and get going again, this is going to be the last crack at it you have. If you are MSU, you have plenty of ults in the ult bank to work with, but you're going to have to be dealing with the sound barrier and the mines, and already King Prawn going down.
That's not what you want. You need your Freya in there all times. Your
Oh,
frontline
no.
pressure. Ray, I'm right there with you. They're up in their spawn area, only 25 seconds left, and the pressure is on with the B and double support ult in the back pocket.
20 seconds. I mean, you still have your Diva in position to be able to go for the touch, but it's going to make things that much more difficult.
And Aurafarmer is scouting for Treff to be the one to go for the touch. There's a very aggressive sound barrier. Suzu? The very aggressive sound barrier does come in again from MSU and Aurafarmer as a response. Golden Pants goes down for the count and set up to push the objective. I'm not sure if Aurafarmer have noticed yet that the point is running away. No, there it is. Okay, there, someone is on the point here. For likely a Treff versus Kane moment, and Kane goes down for the count, but time is not on their side. Point is moving, but there's a minefield, and my poor Lucio is trying to navigate it. There's one little bit of a bomb in their favor, in their face, but they're turning the corner slowly here, Ray, with just a rush to boots.
Yeah, we do see the Lucio up top of Golden Pants who can touch. It's going to come to that, but they have sussed him out, found him. You will be getting, you are the imposter. You will be ejected from the spaceship.
Oh, they will, but there's a second one. That being swag team.
No!
No. Ray, was that no? I was about to say, you know, like they scouted out, you know, the Lucio, but they forgot about the ball, and I think the ball's aura was just too much for MSU to bear. Everyone just jumped off the objective. Oh no.
Not like this.
It's so
I mean,
weak.
I can't really blame them the amount of C9s we had during OWCS this weekend, but
Don't remind me. Oh, it's a curse right now, right?
it happens.
It's a curse.
I do think you were in overtime. Even if you had gotten that, you weren't going to have enough time to finish with. Worst case, you were playing for a draw. If you were the side of MSU, you were not going to be able to finish with time on the clock. But it's just unfortunate for it to end that way.
It really is, and there was 3 people. I was like, oh, okay, Swag Demon's coming in right now. He's gonna roll on through, and then he might have rolled on through a little too much for them. Oh no, they all just jumped off, and it was suddenly done. And as you mentioned, we're in overtime, and that timer, it goes faster and faster the longer you're in overtime mode. So at some point, even if you get off for a millisecond, that timer goes like this, and that's it, you know. So you're really racing against not only the real in-game timer, but also the overtime timer as well, and it's so unfortunate. But for MSU at least, Aurafarmer, they're looking great. They're at 2-0 right now. They're on match point victory here, Ray. Again, trying to get that one-way ticket into Grand Finals winner's side, and not only that, that prize pool we've been hinting at that both NA and EU Open do have available in their respective divisions.
Yeah, it's going to be a big deal. Aurafarmer still has to win one more map to make that happen. MSU has a chance to reverse sweep. So we're going to take a quick break and give MSU some time to figure out what map and bands they want to go with for what could be their final map before getting booted to losers finals. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
Lots of love. Love. Yeah. Yeah. Memories. Memories.
I had just gotten back.
And just like that, we are back here for this game number 3, match point territory for Aurafarmer. And if you can tell from the background, they have decided that, or MSU has decided that for this map 3, and what could possibly be the start of a reverse sweep here, they're going all the way to Circuit Royale.
To me, is a little surprising. I mean, Killa has been killing it. Khan has been killing it on Sojourn, on Widow, on Freya. Why are you taking to a map where Hitscan's going to excel?
And again, right, you only have one ban, right? You can't ban out all 3, and you can't even do a repeat ban, right? So it comes down to the fact that, yeah, you're going to have to deal with a Killa Widowmaker, a Killa Freya, a Killa Sojourn, a Killa something, right? Something that we know we've seen him do absolutely fantastic work, demonic work, really, on the character every day of Legion Tower into King's Row. So with that being said, Aurafarmer and MSU, this is where everything must go down for MSU specifically, because as mentioned before the break, this is where they can either do reverse sweep or they have to go down to lower finals to get a chance to even get a repeat, a rematch against Aurafarmer and Grands.
This is also their last map pick of the series and first ban of the series, so they have to make this count. Going forward, if they start this reverse sweep, all maps and bans are going to be in favor of Aurafarmer. So let's see if they can make this count. King's Row didn't really go in their favor. Let's see if they can make Circuit do it.
They should be able to, ideally, on paper, right? That's what we want. The hopefulness of it all is that we get the win here, and then, as you said, you're at the mercy of where, Aurafarmer want to go in their map 4 and map 5 if we want a reverse sweep to happen. MSU here banning out first, of course, and as you can see, their last 2 bans have been Tracer and Venture, so very heavy on the DPS side, and funnily enough, Aurafarmer are on the more tanky side of the ban phase. Here, a lot of things can definitely work. The Freya, the Widowmaker, you can go back over to an Orisa, maybe a Ball if you really wanted to, things like that, even a Diva if they think it might work out as well. Could be really good bans in general for either team here, but as the timer comes down, I think this is it has to be a good one. There can't be any mistakes in the ban phase here.
There definitely cannot, so let's see what they're going to do here. My guess is they're going to go some form of hit scan. Question is, do they go Sojourn, Freya, or Widowmaker? Both players are very capable of playing all 3, so it's Sophie's choice at this point, and they're going to go with Freya.
They sure will, and I like it. I do like the Freya ban a lot, because I think her flexibility, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, she has really good movement, really good flexibility, really more consistent damage output than Widow, right? So I would rather do with, okay, one headshot from Widow every so often that might miss, versus a Freya that can continuously hit me and kill me even after she dies, which we did see a little bit in King's Row. That being said, Aurafarmer are now in the hot seat where they want to take their own ban, right? Again, they banned Amalgam, they banned Zarya away from the team from MSU, and they could go again for another targeted ban. They targeted Zarya earlier, they can target the Diva, because we've been seeing that a lot from MSU, as well as a sort of response to the Ball, to the Hazard, to the Widowmaker, to anything like that. So that's where my heart does lie. If not, maybe even a Ball, maybe even a Kiriko, something like that can also do wonders for Aurafarmer here.
And it looks like they are going to go with the Diva ban. No surprises here. We've seen the perplexity for MSU to be able to play that, as well as the Diva can do a good job at trying to put a lot of pressure onto these hit scans that are likely going to be played from the side of Aurafarmer. So I think both teams, considering the positions they were in, made the right bans.
Yeah, I think that these are some of the most expected bans to be seen. Freya can kind of been more flexible. Freya, Widowmaker, Sojourn, we both mentioned that earlier, but I think she's probably the best of the 3 options to right now, at least for both sides. Aurafarmer, they love going for the target bans, especially from the get-go. So they know, hey, you go Diva, we ban Diva, and that means that over the the ability for D.Va to go over that initial building and push everyone off that bridge is not really going to be able to be played out by MSU if that was anything they were thinking about doing. That being said, we've had a lot of switch ins and switch outs between Aurafarmer and MSU, and we're just going to go straight into Circuit Royale. Here we go. And again, you can pick sides. I think MSU would want to maybe defend first. Oh, defend first, possibly. I would, at the very least. It gives me a good, clear checkpoint of, okay, where do I need to attack from when I attack next?
Did not realize I was muted.
Oh, no.
Considering also on the defense, to be, as long as you don't let them cap all 3 points, you'll be able to know what your clear-cut win condition is to win the series.
Yeah.
So I think going defense is probably the smart decision here. The only thing, you risk is, if you let MSU cap all 3 points and they start getting some momentum going, maybe that could be to your detriment, but we'll see how it works out for them. As they will play the Sigma to try and enable their hit scans, especially going with a Wu Yang and a Life Weaver. So Life Weaver's gonna be able to pull the Sig out of any sticky situations, and Kond is the one on the Sig as Golden Pants and Kia are on the DPS.
Now hold
and
on.
Swag Demons on support.
We got these guys teleporting out the side entryway, and they're all grouped up in this small little space. This is exactly where Killa really wants them to play, right? But now you're stuck there. Where does MSU go after? They're waiting for Treff's teleport to come back online. Good shield negates the rock depletion from Khan here, but there's a teleport onto the bridge, and they're going full haywire against the opposition. Just barely does Khan actually find the ability to back up this, get the grasp off, but Vintag is not going to be able to escape the clutches of King Khan Bastion.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting a Sim Bastion Ram comp. This is quite the cancerous composition. They'll be able to run so much damage up front. I mean, the good thing is the Sigma actually has a lot of tools to deal with the Bastion specifically.
And not only that, they got rid of the Baptiste as well. They tried to go for a teleport, but they take out the teleport very early, separating that Sim from the Bastion and the Ramantro, right? So Khan pretty much single-handedly cleans up the fight and regains the defenses here for Aurafarmer, especially the backline being the Wu Yang and Life Weaver, by the way. I like it. I'm here with it.
Agreed. And you're going to have, if you are Aurafarmer, you're going to have a lot of ults coming online. You got your Bubble, you got your Flux. There's the Flux to catch the TP. What a great one.
Oh, but what a better lamp, though. But the overclock followed up after the fact means that you just so is not going to be able to use 2 lamps at all, right? That's not a thing. So that headshot comes down easily for the side of Golden Pants. Now, unfortunately, they get pummeled out by the Nemesis from Team Master, and they're actually not realizing quite yet. They're going to play the corner, now teleport right in, force out this positioning from the Sigma, but the Data Blast comes out, and here comes maybe not even a stun. Kane had to back up in the middle of it and get punished by King Prawn. They have the advantage. Now they're walking in against the backline, and now everyone's starting to fall right on over if you're Aurafarmer.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue you face if you're Aurafarmer, is you cannot allow this MSU team to get on top of you with those TPs. You need this space. You're playing hit scans, you're playing Sigma. They do not want to brawl. So that's the win condition for MSU. They're able to get to it very well with the TP and the Bastion. They got to continue to be able to do that. And they got to get a lot of pressure here because they need to get this cart as far as possible just because of the natural high ground the defenders are going to have.
Yeah, you're right, and they can't. You're right. That's why you're seeing King Fawn actually. Not King Fawn. Sorry. You have Trev and Seamaster having their ults online. So they think we do the backline at the same time, and Trev is going to be using that as photon barrier first and foremost. That being said, you have now Killa on his own Symmetra, the mirror Trev here. Tree of Life gets used defensively, and the sound barrier is even better for MSU as the Annihilation just gets so much free value on the opposition. Taking care of Golden Pants. Golden Khan is not going to be in the fight anymore. The backline are trying to keep each other alive, but really, it's all for naught. MSU are walking through the second phase with relative ease.
Them wall, ram ult, you're still going to have a window to force a lot of pressure. Aurafarmer will be able to come back. They're going to have their Flux, but they've lost Killa. That's going to be tough sledding. Do they even touch at this point?
They're going to have to. They have Flux to boot it, right? They can use it in response to, in response to that amplification matrix, and it takes care of Treff. That's fantastic. But now you gotta make sure you take care of this Ramattra, who's just walking on your back line on one end, the other angle being controlled by this Bastion. And suddenly C-Master is just walking all over the place, going wherever he desires, and they get the cap at the same time. 4 minutes to go for MSU. They do commit the title blast anyway, and Killa will get at least one before inevitably going down to ice, ice, ice.
It's not going to matter because you already got the checkpoint. MSU got what they wanted, so it was a wasted ultimate. I thought maybe they might be looking to swap because I don't know if this composition is going to continue to work. You're not able to keep your distance. You have the TP, I guess, to TP yourself out if they come on top of you, but so far they're just getting ran over.
They are. This is not the same Aurafarmer crew that we had seen dominate King's Row, dominate Lijiang Tower. MSU are back in their bag of all King Prawn self-destructing with that with the self-bomb, but it might actually be what allows Aurafarmer to get the win here. Funnily enough, ice goes down. We also have the overclock being used, and no one is actually LOSing Golden Pants whatsoever, waiting for someone else to peek out the bridge, but kind of falls. We see Dragonman fall down for the counter, also being taken down as well. It's a lot of back and forth, very messy fight, but we have forced out the Annihilation, and we forced out Vintech as well before inevitably there's a shutdown coming in from Khan.
Finally, some stabilization coming in from the side of Aurafarmer. Now this is where their composition's going to be able to succeed a bit better, but they got to keep their space. These TPs are just continuously putting MSU in great positions, and what a great sim wall as well.
So great for some barrier, and allows really King Prawn to get so much value. You're protected by that big old barrier. You can also basically just hold so safely and try to find somebody lacking. It gets pressure out of Yggdrasil, forces that Widow, and also the lamp to be used here. Aurafarmer have finally gotten some numbers in the under their belts. They're still losing out one at a time, very equal trade-offs, but it's Swag Demon and Khan working together in tandem to get rid of CE Master, trying to get that little bit of extra pickings onto ice, but my man has sped out of there very quickly.
Yeah, this last section of Circuit is where it's going to be hardest for the composition that MSU is running. It's just such long sightlines for this Sigma and for this Sojourn. So they have to get so much value out of their TP. They got to get on top of someone and find a pick with it.
They know it's there. They go for the flux. It does find the Bastion. Great come there. Comes in from ice to the drain in the nick of time. But they still should come in favor. But there's just so much pressure being put onto Khan. He needs to back out. Title Blast does get used, and we're trying to get it onto the Ramattra right here for the shield. Eliminates the stun factor. Golden Pants comes in with another big overclock, and Khan has pretty much been flipped in position. Has now been put on the back end instead of the defending end of Circuit Royale. 1 minute and 23 seconds left to 1 meter. There's a little bit of a touch, but it's all for naught as finally MSU have a little bit of a lease on life here. There is some light at the end of the tunnel after full capping Circuit Royale.
Minute 18 is nothing to sneer at either. That's a pretty good time bank for this map, which can be extremely difficult to finish. The thing is, with going forward, is you don't have that element of surprise anymore with the Bastion sim, and I don't think it's going to work nearly as well on the defense. So my question is for this MSU squad is, what do you look to do here? Because defensively, it's just like, what, you're gonna set a sim and Bastion up on the high ground and look to TP at them? I don't know. I think that's a far superior attacking comp than defending.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. It's just, oh well. Either way, you're right. I don't think the Bastion and Sim comp is going to work as well, especially on their own defense phase. And it's a really good offensive composition because you're catching your defenders by surprise every single time, right? So, as you can see, some technical issues will go right back in as soon as humanly possible. But this also makes me think, okay, what's Aurafarmer going to respond with? Because it's the first time in the series that Aurafarmer has had to swap to adjust to what's going on. They really haven't been the ones with their backs against the wall quite yet. So of all maps, Circuit Royale, to be the one to do that is so interesting, and they have to make something work.
That they will, as we got the feedback for you guys just in time for the attack to start. Aurafarmer going with a Zarya attack, while MSU still going to play the Ram, but they will play double hit scan on the defenses. They're going to look to go over. We'll see how this works out, but I am not a fan of this anymore. I think most teams just caught on to it.
Yeah, everyone's been thinking. You can see how quickly Ice was scouting for it, but couldn't slide out fast enough. Golden Pants gets a very sneaky icicle right to the noggin of Ice, and they have Killa on this venture. So the comp here is just separate and annihilate, really, is the plan of action. Good grip also from Vintag, keeps Venture alive, keeps Killa alive in the engagement, even without Golden Pants on that Mei, who has now gone over to their own Widow Maker. That being said, Car has now moved halfway to the objective, and they're still not unrelenting. They're not letting up whatsoever on MSU. They're trying to continue this pressure.
I do like seeing the Venture coming into combo with a lot of this brawl. The Venture can be an extremely potent pick. Can find, picks when you're least expecting it and put a lot of pressures. We're seeing already them going for that drill cycle.
You can see how quickly everyone kind of leaves the Ramatra by themselves, and Seamaster is getting the brunt end of that. Khan is back on the Zarya, really showcasing that brawl versus brawl behavior. Killa tries to go for the back line. They separate Trap from the back, and Swag Demon will be the one who is now on support, by the way, who will be actually the one to take out the opposition on that Ana.
Yeah, I think playing the Ana is also going to be a very dangerous gambit for MSU when you're playing this brawl. You hit a fat nade, and man, that fight's almost cooked if you don't, because you don't have a cleanse if you're MSU. So there's not a whole lot you can do. See, there it is already.
The Nano's already online, and this Atomic Shock is going to be clearing everyone out of the way. Swag Demon has done his job yet again. Ana is there to sacrifice, but get so much value upon her death, and this is no different. Seamaster tries to get one little bit of a lick back onto Killa, but it does come to fruition of Aurafarmer continuing to push the objective even further.
I'm surprised they were looking to try and push the effort there. They're down their tank. I wouldn't because you lose someone else here. This is going to be a very dangerous situation in Gambit. You do have the overclock to be able to use here, but there's the grab.
The grab comes out, great wall, great shield, even better amplification matrix as a response. So that's 2 for the price of 1 being expended here from MSU, the overclock being used alongside that window, as we had just mentioned. You see Seamaster trying to duke it out against Khan, and now actually forced to use the Annihilation just to replenish that armor back on themselves. Get a little sleep, and then we leave. I love that. Swag Demon, you're just like me for real on that Ana. And the nade off, beautiful. 40% to Nano is really good for Aurafarmer here.
And they're able to get Seamaster in the end. Golden Pants can now look to take aggressive angles, especially with the sights. Aurafarmer has a big chance with a big re-engage now.
They had to back up here. As you mentioned, they can't go in without their tank, and look how separated King Prawn is from the team, and that's going to be an easy pick here for Killa at the same time. You basically are in a constant 4v5 situation for Aurafarmer, and they're going for the touch. Great, the wall is in fact there. The sound barrier does connect to every single person, and the Tree of Life does get used from Vintac, but it comes down to how the rest of these 4 members are going to play the game, because Killa is in that backline with that Tectonic Shock once again. Hits the wall with the drill dash, so couldn't get the same effect, but now we're pushing this ramp away from the team here. What a lamp! It comes in clutch from the side of Yggdrasil, but Seamaster needs to stay alive and stabilize it. King Prawn slides in for the kill, but you're so separated. You're so easy to pick off by that backline. That Vintac is not letting up whatsoever on that Life Weaver. Now it's just Seamaster forced to hold block. The Blizzard also gets used. It does find the Life Weaver, but Bubble saves the life of Vintac for a little bit longer. Here's a window from Yggdrasil. A second one has now been committed here, and there's a very extended fight here, right? Another grab has hit, and it's gonna find 2 for their efforts. This should finally be the end of the fight here in favor for Aurafarmers.
Yeah, what a long sustained fight. Almost felt like we went through 2 ult cycles in that fight.
Really, yeah.
So 4 minutes on the clock, 3.5, I'm sorry, for Aurafarmer to try and match the time that MSU was able to get. They definitely bombarded first point a lot faster, but second point there was a much more resistance from MSU than what Aurafarmer was able to put up. Let's see how this third point goes, as already Ice is down.
I mean, that's just the Killa difference, right? That Venture is so strong. Getting those the shields after every one of their abilities is so strong to keep Killa alive in these engages, and the bubble just allows them to get so much value on the character. That's how they're seeing these guys now push into their spawn area for the next fight.
No one can hide from my sight.
Sight's gonna get popped for Aurafarmer, so no hiding if you're the side of MSU. They're gonna know what door you're coming out of, and it looks like they're gonna go to the top to try and take this high ground positioning away from the side of Aurafarmer.
Oh no, another one. Good wall though. Ooh, what a fantastic wall. But that Venture is not unrelenting. A double kill comes in. King Prawn, Yggdrasil, Treff, all going down. The Annihilation is just a Hail Mary at this point because everyone else on your team is basically dead, and that Annihilation is going to be continued. It's going to be shut down immediately. You go for the test because you have to. There's 2.5 minutes left here. We need to kill the Ramatra. Suzu comes in from Yggdrasil as a last minute swap over to the Kiriko for that touch. But we gotta wait for this ball to come back from the side of Kond. Excuse me. With that being said, it's a very, very messy fight here. Everyone's engaging, disengaging. The ball is in the back line. We all coincide onto ice. The Nano is on Killa though, Ray. And you know how good this Venture has been this entire series. An entire map is just going in the favor of Aurafarmer so far.
Yeah, but they still can't find the Ramatra pick, but they are able to find King Prawn. They got to get some of these supports down. They do get the Tracer, and they're trying to get the Kiri.
All they gotta do, MSU is trying to stall the time bank a little bit here. 1 minute 18 seconds to 1 minute and 39 seconds. And you know what, Ray? That's not too shabby. That's not too bad. And MSU will take that as we move into overtime rounds. Round 3 and round 4 are coming up.
Depending on where these, how far these attacks get, that extra 20 seconds basically might buy you an extra, you know, someone goes in touch and tries to make something happen kind of fight. So you at least have that on your side if you're the side of Aurafarmer. But I think the main question is just going to be how much distance is MSU going to be able to get in their 1 minute. The issue with their attack was the first point was the point that actually took them the longest out of all of them. So we're going to have to see. And they don't have the surprise. I mean, basically, they're still going to play the Sim Bastion, but basically Aurafarmer knows they're going to and can make adjustments.
They know what's happening. Look, and as you predicted, King Prawn is back on the Omnic here. And Treff is back on that Symmetra, right? So that synergy between them two has really been unmatched from Aurafarmer, I think. And as you said, they're expecting it. They want it to happen so they can respond accordingly with the Zarya, with this double flex support backline of the Ana and the Baptiste. Golden Pan's back. Oh, never mind. Life Weaver back online. But Golden Pan's back on that Sojourn as well. Defenders are starting to get ready. They're a little bit lacking, a little bit behind. You can see Vintek and Golden Pans are walking all the way from that high ground area. Not even step on the bridge quite yet. But MSU walking out that left side spawn again. Where are they going to go this time?
They're going to TP straight to that high ground. No surprises here. They need that wide open sight lines. And then they need to be able to set up for another TP from here to the high ground that Aurafarmers are currently sitting at right now. Question is, if you high charge your Zarya too hard, will she be able to blow you up before you find kills?
That's the scary part. It's just the Zarya. The double shield coming in here. The Symmetra having that that moving shield here. And I'm not sure if Treff actually wanted to take that instead, because that does actually refresh the timer on that cooldown of the teleport. Here it is, though. We have now gone over to the field, and they're ready for it this time. They're all backing out off of the high ground, but Golden Pants taken out a little bit too early by Treff, and now you're in a 4v5 situation. The car is moving. You only have a quarter of a minute left, however, for MSU to continue this push. Killa is engaging on the back line, takes care of the Bastion, and in the front line, there's again that high charge Zarya back in the fray. The Sim, terror of all things, does shut down the Venture for now.
Yeah, you do get the Venture for now, and the backup is ensuing for the side of Aurafarmers. They have to keep their Zarya charged. They have to wait for Killa to be able to get back to be able to set up, especially since Killa is so close to that tectonic shock.
That's the scary part, but the window does come out first and foremost, and on this corner, it's so good to force a big disengagement from Aurafarmer, at least for now. They don't want to beat that window whatsoever because that damage amplification output is too much for someone like Zarya to bear. Good nade. The touch does come in. The Nano also sliding in onto that overclock. And ladies and gentlemen, that is just so much damage output that Golden Pants just gets an easy 4K, 5K on the board here with the Nano clock, shutting MSU down just mere centimeters from first round completion.
Not only did they have that, but they also had the damage from the tectonic shock coming in on that as well. So, Nano overclock plus tectonic shock. Yeah, MSU didn't really have a chance there, unfortunately. You weren't going to build up Sound Barrier that quickly. So, win conditions set for Aurafarmers. I mean, essentially, it got so close to completing first point. You essentially have to complete first point, which they were able to with relative quickness on their attack because they went over the head. They won't be able to surprise MSU with that, definitely. Fool me once, shame on you. fully try shame on them. So if they let that happen again, anyway. So the element of surprise when it comes to that's not going to be there. So can they still make it happen and, you know, get through to completing first point essentially in a minute and a half?
It comes down to the wire. Khan goes over to Malga for now. Again, this is a spot area, so things can always change up. The vibe can always be adjusted. MSU are actually committing so far to that Bastion on the defense. We were talking about it earlier, how maybe it's not going to be as profitable, right? But maybe it will be. King Prawn has surprised us in the past. It has just surprised us just in this game, right? So with that being said, 5 seconds left. This could be the start of reverse sweep here for MSU or the end of a series for Aurafarmer.
We're about to find out. Here we go. Malga coming out from Aurafarmer as they will look to go over the top once again. Let's see if they make this happen again.
Oh, you saw that, Ray? They knew. Look at this.
Yep.
Look at this positioning from MSU. They are so aggressive with it. They said, no, you're not going to go over that bridge because we're not even there, bestie. Take a different approach, which they're going to do, and they're going to go back over to that Sojourn once again for Aurafarmer. They've essentially wasted that 20 seconds, and Trev has now gotten a headshot onto Golden Pen at the exact same time. A minute has now left here for the side of Aurafarmer. They're trying to get that life fever perspective and takes care of Trev in the meantime.
I will say getting Treff is, you know, kind of a big deal because I feel like if you're MSU, you gotta look to try and back out here. They do keep finding picks though, so maybe you can continue to play this position, but the spawns are just gonna come back so quickly.
I love how forward MSU are playing though. They're so really in their faces in that spawn area for Aurafarmer. Now we have that Zar coming back to make an appearance. Killa is trying to disrupt this backline in some way, shape, or form. They bait out the lamp. But there's a kill onto Ice. There's also a disengagement from MSU as they go right back over to that. Aurafarmer as they go back over to that payload. The window is being used. It's given so much favor to the Bastion. There's only 7 seconds left here, Ray, and no one's on the point. They're all trying to coincide on the Bastion. We have to go for the touch, and there it is. It's just gonna be the Venture coming in for the touch to continue this point push. But now they're gonna move up, overclock in tow.
Really surprised they're looking to feed more ult charge to the side of Aurafarmer. If I was Seamaster, I probably would have just let myself die and not feed that extra ult charge from popping the Nemesis form. Nonetheless, they're still going to have overclock. They're still going to have Annihilation. They're still going to have their Bastion ult. But look at all the ults Aurafarmer's coming up to. They got that Nano overclock again. They got the Tectonic Shock. They have a Tree of Life. And they should build Grav. This is going to be an ult fiesta to decide. Are Aurafarmer going to the grand finals, or do we get them out number 4?
Well, first we're going to use that Bastion and configuration first. It finds Vintac, and Vintac was the one on the cart!
Wait.
Vintac was on the cart, Ray! He died! Oh my god! Bastion ultimate for the win, by the way. Bastion ultimate for the win. Oh my god. Do we want to call this C9? He killed the one guy on the cart and no one else. Oh my god.
You're in overtime. You can't keep just one person on the cart.
They had one person on the cart.
You know all these
It was
ultimates are coming online.
It was just Vin. It was just Vin on the objective with Tree of Life. And they scouted that with the Bastion ultimate. And they were like, there's one person on this point. I'm just going to focus him. He dies and no one else is there, Ray. No one else. I'm devastated.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that play of pushing up as aggressively as they did, leaving one person on cart for Aurafarmer. Also, we've seen them swapping around roles so much. Like, to me, did that finally bite you a little bit there? Are you playing with your food a little bit too much? Because now MSU's got some momentum in their way. They got to be feeling good. Like, you know, just when you're down 2-0, you're like, you know, you're feeling down. That you finally get this huge map win, huge C9, huge Bastional. You know, everyone's feeling so much better, re-enthused. Now you're gonna have to deal with that for the next 2 maps. So let's see where we go. But as I mentioned, MSU, that was their last map pick and first ban of the rest of this series. Everything shifts in Aurafarmer's favor. That's why reverse sweeps are very, very hard in Overwatch 2.
I know, and it's okay. I do need a quick second. We're gonna go to a very quick 2-minute break here and let these guys settle down after that insane 4-round series of Circuit Royale. Now going to round 4, map 4, and map 5. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after 2 minutes.
Each other,
Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo.
And we're back. Like I said, it was gonna be very quick. It was for me. I apologize, but thank you for your patience. We're back for map 4. Map 4, Ray. We did not. I didn't think it would happen. I thought this was Aurafarmer's game. I thought they had it in the bag, and then suddenly Bastion of all things was the answer all along for MSU, especially on Circuit Royale. So now we're in map 4. Where do we go to next, Ray?
Well, see, I'm not so sure it was the actual Bastion. It was the TP plays, the positioning they played themselves into. The Bastion ultimately got them the win because they had one person in a cart and they just Bastion ult and killed them. But I don't know if that was ultimately like what got them over the edge. I think the style they were playing, they seem to be playing with a lot more confidence now. So we'll see. As we do know what the next map choice is going to be for Aurafarmer, is it's going to be Runasapi.
It is, ooh, push. Love this. Flat 10 minutes. You gotta get this point from point A to checkpoint, and then ideally as far as humanly possible, right? That's exactly what I think. I think Aurafarmer, well, we only had 2 map choices left, Flashpoint and Push, of course, but I think this can be a really, really, really good map, especially for their playstyle, especially for their favorite Zarya composition that they've kind of defaulted back to more often than not. On the Bryce hand, though, MSU have D.Va back. Yay! They have D.Va back, they have Tracer back, they have Freya back, they have a lot of their cast back. So now Aurafarmer, once again, very much on the back end of this. They have the they have map ban and map pick and map and ban first, excuse me, from here on out. So where do we want to go first? They've been doing tanks all day. Do we switch up a little bit? Do we go for a DPS or a support ban this time?
Is this where you rip the Wrecking Ball ban if you're the side of MSU? This can be a pretty good Wrecking Ball map. Aurafarmer, do they look to protect that? Because given that situation, they are going to ban the Sim, which is interesting. I wouldn't expect Sim to be played on this map, but with just how well it worked for them, I kind of get it.
Oh yeah, I'm scared of Sim. First of all, from this morning, if you were tuned into OWCS, right, you and I definitely were, Sim has been a problem. She has really come out of her, out into the limelight in our grand finals for OWCS in Stockholm, and then here, you just saw how well MSU played that composition, especially on the attack phase of Circle Royale. That being said, MSU now in the hot seat. Where are you going to ban this time? You've kind of exhausted a lot of your DPS bans, can't do it again this time. So you take a dip into support, take a dip into tank, and you find something that works for you in this map 4 of Runasapi.
And the Wrecking Ball. No surprises here. I think both teams know what the other is going to try and play on this map. They don't want to mess around with no Wrecking Ball shenanigans. So my guess is if I'm Aurafarmer, you probably go back to the Hazard Well. Hazard's going to be a pretty good pick on this map. They made it work extremely well on King's Row, which is farming downpours. The question is, with MSU, where do they look to go? Obviously, they have the D.Va available for themselves. They seem to do really well on that previous map with the Ramatra. You don't have the Sim available, but you could still play a version of that with different DPS.
Ball has finally been banned outright. Life is worth living. It is so real right now. We have Ball out of the fray for Runasapi, which makes sense. I think Ball's really good on Runasapi. I think Ball's good on a lot of maps just because Ball mains make it work, right? That being said, here are a reminder of all the bans we've had so far. From map 1 into now a guaranteed map 4. We might even go into map 5 if MSU bring out the win yet again. I'm super excited. I was expecting it to be a 3-0. I was expecting us to be done, wrapped up, and good to go. Like, I thought it was going to be a done and dusted deal for grand finals, but MSU wants it. They want it really bad here, Ray.
That they do. They just got to get one more map and they will be heading to grand finals. And the question for me is, are they going to go back to what we saw on the first 2 maps where they had, you know, they didn't have their DPS on tank. They didn't have Swag Demon on support. Like, are they gonna stop playing with their food a little bit? Because I think, you know, if they do that, they should win this map.
They should. On paper, they should. I don't know. They're getting themselves ready. After that kind of map 4, we did give them a little bit of a break, but I would still would be like really high energy, really anxious of going into map 4, right? And again, for not just grand final spot, this is also for a prize pool, a really big prize pool as well. Between both open divisions, I believe it actually is first place and second place do get I want to say 1,500 and then 200. I want to say, or 500. I want to say is the prize for first and second place. So you're fighting for low-key some food money, some rent money. Like, you're fighting for things that, like, I would love right now. So with that being said, teams are getting themselves ready. We're going to get our lineups because, again, these guys love to swap around substitutions. We've seen so much flexibility from both of our rosters today, and I expect to see even more going into Runasapi.
Very, very interested to see what we get on here. It would, to me, the D.Va just hasn't found enough success for me to justify playing it, especially against the Hazard. It did okay against the ball in certain situations, but yeah, here we go. My guess is you got to stick to Ram. You got to stick with what was doing good.
I like the Ram here. I think Ram right now is in a relatively solid spot. We've been seeing a lot of plays with Ramatra all throughout Season 16, all throughout the pro scene, even the casual scene. He's really just kind of come out of his shell a lot more, especially after his initial nerf where they kind of adjusted his how armor is calculated, thankfully, and he's kind of come back. But it looks like Vendetta, no Vendetta. She's not legal. No, pause. Thank you. No Vendetta. Y'all are crazy. They want to play Vendetta so bad. No, she is not legal. I'm sorry, buddy. But I will say, Queen coming out so far, I'm a little bit excited. I love seeing a good Queen comp on Runasapi.
Yeah, I love me some Junker. We don't get to see it enough just because some of the other tanks, there's only certain teams who pull it off really well, given it's not super meta right now because Ramatra, Orisa, they just have so much sustain and tankiness. With the Junker Queen compositions, it relies heavily on you zooming in, getting a kill really quickly before they can kill you because you don't have a lot of sustain in that comp.
No, I agree, and thankfully, you know, it's gonna be, if they lock in this Queen, it's gonna be Queen against Zarya, right? Which on paper is like, okay, my 2 queens fighting it out. Like, no, peace and love with Zarya and Queen, right? But it comes down to Queen has to kill Zarya this fast, or else Zarya's just gonna get way more powerful and then overrun Queen once you don't have shout left anymore, or even a way to get out. You don't have self heal or anything like that. So, with that being said, it comes down to your DPS really, really showcasing their mechanics, showcasing their just showcasing their ability to back up their Queen or back up their Zarya.
Here we go. Nice backdrop scene of Runasapi, of the great mountainous area. Will Aurafarmer on this map get it together, punch your ticket to the grand finals, or will we be going to a map number 5? MSU got that Ram on point. They're going to be playing with the Mei and the Sojourn, which I think, given that you don't have Sim, you can't really do the Bastion because you need the Sim to TP around and set people up in good positions. But I think the Mei with the Sojourn is going to be a good adjustment. as we see the Junker Queen coming out from Aurafarmer. I do like the Echo coming in. Echo has definitely been a pick that's popping up a lot more. We've seen a lot of OWCS this weekend. Ever since they got the flight change, they have been a much more popular pick.
Here we go. We're committing the Queen. We're committing Moira. Moira Lucio here for Aurafarmer. Alongside the Echo, I think Echo's also been a really good pick here. Oh my god, I love Echo, and I'm so glad she's kind of gotten her spotlight once again in the greater meta. Shout use, Carnage use, wall offing the Ramattra, walling off the Queen. Actively doing a little bit of both here, but it is going to be Killa on the Hanzo, not the Vendetta. Coming in with that beautiful elimination onto CE Master. You so goes for a quick reset. Might as well, I guess. And Trev taken out by Golden Pants. And it's a very good opening fight here for Aurafarmer.
I'm going to keep it 100. I did not expect a Hanzo on my bingo card if you're going to play a Junker Queen composition. But I mean, again, you got to look to find picks very quickly, especially since you're playing Moira, who's got a limit on the amount of heals she can give out. So Hanzo's just going to be that ability to find picks quickly.
Carnage, once again, used early on. Now they're mirroring this Queen here. Now just kind of comes down to who is the better Queen. And today, CE Master gets a beautiful dagger throw onto Golden Pants. And really allows themselves to get a 4v5 advantage state against Aurafarmer. Popbot is now going back in the favor of MSU, getting a little bit of meters on the objective here while we wait for Aurafarmer to get their Echo back in line. But we are seeing a little bit of an engage and disengage so much from MSU and Aurafarmer. That really comes down to who gets the opening pick once again, King Prawn or Killa. Oh my goodness.
And this time it's going to be Seamaster finding Golden Pants once again, but they do get Yggdrasil, which is a very favorable exchange. As we do see Yggdrasil, who looks like they DC from the map. Very unfortunate. Might be why they got picked.
Yeah, my been kind of standing there like T-posing, and it's like, Hanzo headshot. Who is shocked? Most skillful character in the game. I love Hanzo, right? I love Hanzo so much. But in all seriousness, Yggdrasil did this disconnect. We're gonna go to a very quick break. They're gonna come back in, all that jazz. But as you mentioned, CE Master was the one that did get that opening pick again onto that Echo, right? So if you're gonna play this, if you're playing this Echo, you shouldn't be in that space to get hit by the sawed off of Junker Queen. You shouldn't be able to get hit by the knife. You shouldn't be able to get you shouldn't really be in the vicinity of that Queen whatsoever. You should be looking at that backline, looking at that Baptiste and that Lucio at all times. The fact that we're not able to do that means that we're walking out of these entryways and then looking straight down a Queen. Like that shouldn't be happening. We should maybe take a second during this pause, regroup, and think, what do we do now that we're now even with 4 players on both sides?
I will say, I think, again, the exchange and Echo for a Kiri, that's like all the heals that was available for the side of MSU. I mean, you have a Lucio, but Lucio can only aura heal. Like, it's, not as much as you would hope, so you should be able to turn this around. Yeah, you have a lot of burst damage off of the field if you don't have your Echo, but the Hanzo still has that one-shot capability. My question is, going forward with this, do you look to get rid of the Hanzo and look for something more consistent like a Sojourn, who they've, Golden Pants has shown the capability, Golden Pants on the Echo, so in this case it'd be Killa. Killa has shown the ability to play that Sojourn very well. And the Sojourn just has more consistency, a lot easier to find those kills. Hanzo, it's like feast or famine. You find the kill, or you're not doing a whole lot.
I'm hearing a whole lot, though, Ray. I'm hearing a whole lot. I hear Carnage. I hear a shout from both Queens. I hear a recall being used. Now, Golden Pants has gone off of the Echo, has gone over to Tracer, and Killa said, you can pulse me all you want, but I'm still going to get the kill at the end of the day. Point has been retaken by Aurafarmer, thankfully. Still in the lead here. Also, quick shout out to our secondary stream happening right now. Another match happening at 3 o'clock has been going on for 30 minutes now. Go tune in at the same time as us.
Yeah, I know a lot of you gamers got 2 monitors. Put one on each monitor.
It's me.
That's pretty crazy though for the Hanzo to be able to get that pick onto the Tracer before the pulse comes in. Aurafarmer, lots of ults online. Let's see what they're able to do. Sound Barrier is still available for Ice to deal with this rampage.
I mean, they used Sound Barrier for the Rampage, and then also the Dragon Strike alongside that, and the Coalescence. So, arguably, 4 ultimates here for Aurafarmer, very expensive, and CE Master decides to go in for a Rampage of his very own. It finds 2, maybe even a 3rd, with the Carnage onto the Hanzo, and the Rampage bleeding out. Vintak here. Khan, of course, with that Moira, takes care of Tref, and they're going to be able to solidify a check mark here, and even a very late kill possible to Steam Master. But I think our Kiriko is back to help save the day, and there is a cleanup we're looking for.
I will say, though, you did allow the point cap to come in, so you're going to have those forward spawns from here on out, even the side of Aurafarmer. So all things considered, you know, yeah, that was a very expensive fight. You did get a lot of ult commit at MSU as well, and you get the point cap. So I think they'll take that, and they get Treff.
Oh no, Trev is constantly going down first, or constantly going down early in these fights. I don't want to say first, but very early again. Swag Demon takes care of King Prawn. So again, 3v4 situation that is happening on the field here. MSU are the ones a little bit behind into the numbers, waiting for Chuck to come back from that first pickings. Swag Demon gets a carnage onto Lucio and does miss the knife, unfortunately, but there's still a lot of pressure between these two queens fighting around the around that car there on the right side. Golden Pants comes back and the knife hits CE Master. So no front line here available for MSU. They need to at least find a quick way to quickly regroup with the team here, and there goes down Trav. So as well following thereafter.
Still plenty of time on the clock. We haven't even hit the halfway mark on this map, and it's not like it's any significant meterage distance. The only major difference is the forward spawns that the Aurafarmers are able to secure themselves. I do think this next fight's going to be crucial for MSU, and getting Keela out early is big.
That's so big. I mean, oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Oh, a 2-for-2. Wait, 2-for-2 trade-off. Rampage has come out of the fray. We saw the closest being used here. Rampage again coming in from the opposition from the German Queen, barely able to get that self-heal after the anti from the previous Rampage on the field. Still has holding on to this continued rush, knowing that they likely don't have to use it, being able to take down Swag Team, being able to also take down Golden Pants at the exact same time. In the back is Killa and I think Vintac there. They need to back out though, because if they get taken down early like this, it's not gonna be a good look. And there it is, taken out by Trev and followed up by Ice. Swag comes back with a beautiful knife onto the Lucio. However, it's still anyone's spot right now.
Yeah, especially with getting Vintac there as well. MSU should be able to get quite a lot of meterage. They might even be able to get these forward spawns. And you're able to hold on to your Kitsune Rush for this next incoming fight. Killa's going to have that bola shot. You'll get a pulse and a sound barrier of your own. So there's a lot of tools at both these teams' disposal. Are they going to try and touch before the forward spawns?
First of all, the rail shot to the face of a bola shot is some level of confidence I did not know King Prawn had. I respect you so heavy for that, bestie. King Prawn also has the overshot and the Ajax! Ajax button! Where's my Ajax button? Vintac died right before the beat goes down, and there is a big win here for MSU. They got the beat down. They got the post bomb out. They got so much value off of this fight, and they're gonna.
And they've got the lead now. Uh-oh. Aurafarmers are going to swap Killa over to the Sombra now. The Sombra can be very hit or miss. You've got to be getting high value hacks.
Oh, big Rampage comes in from the side of Swag Demon. Yes, this should be the fight winner for Aurafarmer. And what sucks that this could have been done faster and they wouldn't have had to lose the lead here. 3.5 minutes though, Ray. This is where the comebacks of all comebacks tend to happen on Runasapi.
Yeah, not a lot online for either of these teams. I mean, you have a pulse from Treff, but pulse can be, you know, a big whiff or a big play. So we'll see if Treff can make that happen. We see King Prawn going over to the Cassidy now to try and deal with the Tracer and a Sombra, which I don't I don't blame him.
Oh yeah, my man's running away. He said, I got hacked by. I'm shining away. Golden Pants will be the new target of choice alongside that pulse again onto Vintac. Unfortunately, MSU falling down. Aurafarmer falling down slowly to the side. MSU have now retaken the objective in their favor.
Yeah, they did lose their Kiriko, so you're definitely playing a little bit more passive. You gotta have your Lucio come back so they can TP and speed them back in. So they probably will just look to get the forward spawns and back out. Yeah, that's what I figured as much. So they can at least take 2 fights incoming with the forward spawns.
Recall used early. Carnage also used early by Swag Demon. Seamaster is stuck in that little corner. Has to back out. Look, he's still stuck in that corner. He can't really get out. He's being out pressured by so many different angles. The bot has now been at a stalemate for the good portion of this fight. There's a hack onto the Gun Queen and the Virus, so that damage implication is going to be a lot to deal with. Pulse Bomb goes crazy, but the Suzu even better. And so negating that ultimate being getting any value from Golden Pants. The EMP is followed up thereafter, however, and that's going to be the big kicker here. Taking out King Prawn and CE Master. Really, MSU need to regroup here. They do have the lead at the very least, and they are working with still 2 minutes to go, but they're working with just a continuing rush and 2 DPS ultimates.
And they should all get the forward spawns, as we see Seamaster now going to go over to the Zarya. I think they might have gotten those supports just in time with the forward spawns. So yeah, here we go. Zarya already putting pressure onto this bot.
Oh my gosh, but you lose Yggdrasil in the middle of the continuing rush. You have Vintax Soundbearer getting a redemption arc after the Ajax previously. And this is the redemption of all time. Aurafarmers are walking over MSU, trying to make sure we don't die to this very high charge Zarya. It will be in the going down is Vintac, but your Lucio should be back in relatively a couple of seconds after the respawn.
Okay, they do get the forward spawns before Vintac responds, so Vintac will be back even faster, so that's actually a big deal. Aurafarmer is going to have a Kitsune rush here. Let's see what this High Noon's able to get.
No, I see a High Noon, and a Suzu negates it completely, keeping the backline alive in that small little corner. Pulse Bomb followed up on by Trev. The 2-for-2 trade-off, Pulse Bomb on the floor, not gonna get anything either. CE Master has been hacked, however, by Killa and Ray. There's no tank here for MSU. It comes down to the backline, it comes down to Trev, it comes down to just mechanics and stalling. And Tracer can only have so many recalls, so many blinks, so many speed boosts, so much resources before inevitably people are trying to come back. We're going to start to get our Cassidy back as well. Our Sombra is back, and King Prawn is not able to keep up with Golden Pants. We finally get the lead back for Aurafarmer in the last 15 seconds.
Yeah, and I think it's going to just be to their advantage to try and keep pressure a little bit. They're going to get the distance. They're going to look to back up a little bit because they have the forward spawn, so they can look to regroup at the mid ground here. This is it. EMP available for Aurafarmer.
And there it is. It's big. It finds... Oh, that's it. Right, that's it. That's 3 down.
GG's.
MSU are down for the count. King Prawn is not going to be able to roll in back to touch. And that's going to be Aurafarmer taking the 3-1, going down one single map against MSU, but bringing it back on Renasapi. What a fantastic series for us to start off this day with.
What a series. What a final map. That came down to the wire. Killa going over to the Sombra actually paid dividends. High value hacks were coming in, and both EMPs they got during that were high value. They were fight winning. They were very quick to capitalize on those EMPs coming in.
They were, and they were just waiting for the go button to get that EMP off in the very last fight, knowing they had nothing for it. Especially they targeted Yggdrasil. You know, the Suzu would be the only thing that would maybe have helped in that last fight. But once you're down, my guy. And that's really all that she wrote. MSU going down to the lower bracket. So again, right, that's not the end of the road for them. Thankfully, they had a fantastic series, showcasing a lot of flexibility, but they can do it again in the lower bracket. Aurafarmer, however, Ray, they're chilling in grand finals, looking great, looking very, very strong here.
Yeah, they have to be feeling very good about their performance. They just have to take one more win, and they'll be winning the EU Open Division, getting that cash prize. So they put themselves in a great spot. We're going to see if they can bring it all together. But we will be having an interview with someone from the winning team. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break while we get that set up. And, oh, never mind. We will not be having an interview. They just left. No worries there.
Hi, guys.
So we're going to wrap things up here. Keep in mind, there is still another match live on CGL 2, so make sure to tune into that. We're going to rate it as well, so I think we're going to rate it. Join the raid if you can. Here's a reminder of our schedule for tonight. SCR Sentence versus Smile Anyways going on right now on CGL 2. And then tonight, just to give you guys an idea, Mystic Dead Roses Drop the Guns, that's going to be on CGL 1. Boop Troop versus Zodiacs will be on CGL 2. Primordius Rising versus Subsun will be on CGL 3. And then Cuddlepodle versus Aura Fury, last game of the night, that will be on CGL 1. So lots of games to be able to finish your weekend on, get those drops, get those loot boxes, get whatever you're looking to get, because we're going to be live very long today.
Yeah, very long along all 3 of the channels. And Ray, I believe, as you said, we are live for drops as well. So get your drops on. Put on CGL in the interim periods and really just tune into all of our fantastic players, all of our teams, all of our divisions. Again, we started off with EU Open. We're ending it with NA Diamond tonight. It's an all-day fest. And go support all of our casters, all of our producers, really working it down and keeping all these streams alive throughout the entire day. And of course, the rest of playoffs. Aurafarmers chilling in grand finals, waiting to see if they get their rematch or maybe a new face appears on the other end of grand. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting your favorite teams, your favorite people, your players, your friends, your family, and everyone in between. We'll see you guys a little bit later today, funnily enough, for some more CGL Season 16 action. Have a good one.